ready.
Okay, this is a homebrew pack for the metal marker. What is inside the box is when you open it up, it's nothing much in there. You have a box in there, and inside the box is the metal marker material, and you have a power supply unit, 2M 12 volt DC. They are of course Australian approved. Your sample pack of electrolyte and felt, and user guide. Anyhow, let's put this aside. Right, let's start with this. I'll put this, plug it on as well. Okay, here you are. Right, now in the pack, in the box, in this metal box, right, where are we? It's not easy to open because of sticky tape. Okay, right, inside the metal box, what you get is a few things. Screw to screw the box together. You have a base plate. Oops. You have a base plate. You have a handle piece, and you have a homebrew unit circuit board. Right. In the circuit board, there are already cables soldered on. Let's pull this cable apart in there. Now on the cable itself. Now this unit needs to be installed properly inside the aluminum box. Okay, first of all is to ensure that all these electronics don't get short-circuited and they're going to get damaged based on whatever it is. So make sure that you install it properly. Look into the deluxe version on how to do it, for example. Right, now on the cable itself, one of them will be marked base and the other one will be marked handle. Obviously the base one going to a base unit and the handle goes to handle. So quickly let's unscrew this, right, and pop this in there in the base unit. Okay, I'll screw it there. Where are we? Right, there's the base unit and the handle going to handle. Right, now on deluxe unit the handle actually is been prepared better, differently, but the idea of homebrew is you're going to homebrew your own handle. Right, I'll put it in, right, and screw it onto the handle. Where are we? It's a tiny little screw. It's a M3 screw. I try to use metric stuff, so this is a M3 screw. It's very standard. Right, now even without putting inside the box, the homebrew unit should already start. So I'll put the box aside. I'll put this aside. Right, I'm going to make sure that there is nothing touching the homebrew unit. I'll leave it like such so everybody can see it easily. Now I'll put the base unit in front of me. Right, now I'm going to use the power that's come with it to plug it on. Right, now this is what you get when you start it up. You're going to have a DC and then a number, AC, and then the number. The number represents how many seconds the unit will deliver DC current. For example, DC 20.6 is 20.6 seconds. AC 11.2 is 11.2 seconds of DC current, AC current being delivered. Now to modify this, you press the mode button, which is whatever directly underneath that, whatever button directly underneath the writing. So mode button, this is a run button, right? That's under the run word. So I'll press the mode. You go into a DC time. So I'm going to change either you want to go less or more. In this case, let's do less. Let's do a 10 second. So as you press it down, you know, every press will bring down 0.2 second, right? 10 second on DC time, and yeah, and then you press done and we'll go into AC time. I'll do 10 second on AC time as well. Done. So now both DC and AC is 10 and 10. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of felt, right? I'm going to put it onto the handle, like such, and I'm going to stick it rubber band it in place like such. Right, now I already prepared my electrolyte. Right, if you don't, then you prepare your electrolyte. I put it inside a little pump like this. So I'm gonna put make the unit to be wet, nicely wet, right? Not too much, not too little. I think my pump bottle is dirty. Never mind. Okay, now let's have a piece of aluminium. Now this aluminium just comes straight from Capro. I don't do anything about it. Right, it's better off if I actually clean it up first. So I'm going to use this is methylated spirit. So I'm going to use some methylated spirit to clean this up. Okay, so just quickly rub it off so that I remove oil from the surface. Oh man, I'm messy. Okay, put that away. Right, now this is nice and clean. I put it on top of base plate. I'm going to take a piece of stencil. Stencil is from Nirok, maker of Nirok knife in Picton, Australia. He's lending me his trademark to show people how to use this. Okay, so what I do is I use this on top of the side, on top of the stencil. Now what I'm trying to do is, whoops, actually I'll better off if I sticky tape this in place. Right, quickly I'll put it in there, one side. I'll put another piece on the other side so it doesn't run anyway. Right, now if you look at it, what I'm trying to do is to cover the whole lot of the stem, the whole lot of the stencil using my my felt unit. Okay, so everything is being covered like such. Right, I'll put this on base unit, ensuring that this is nice and wet with the electrolyte. Right, put a bit more on that. Now I'll put this on top of the on top of the stencil, covering everything. Right, now I'll press run on my machine. Right, so make sure everything is ready. Yeah, I'll press run. Right, what it does is just count down so many seconds it is required preset on the preset. Right, and as it's done, it will say done. Right, 2, 1, and done. Now I lift up. Now what I'm doing here is I'm looking at this stencil. That part is dark. That means that whatever I press on is correct, but that part is not so dark, so I have not actually pressed it correctly in that end. Lucky this is a test metal, so I'm just doing another one in there. But what you're going to do is going to do a few tests before you start with it. Right, I'm going to do the same thing and just run it again. Right, so if you test it and make sure that you already got confidence on how to use the unit before you actually do it on your precious material part. Right, now everything is nice and dark, telling me that the whole system is actually been done properly. So I'll lift this up, and there you are. There's Nirok's knife sign. Now it's because it's aluminium, it does not actually oxide in there. Right, to make aluminum oxide dark, you actually have to boil it in a water to seal it up. I don't have time to do it right now, so what I'll do is just wipe it off. Now the oxide will come up because it's aluminum, right, to a point. Here it goes. It won't last, but a bit of them will stay in there. Right, now all this extra on the side is the dirt from the excess electrolyte. You can actually clean it up using methylated spirit. So I'm gonna put methylated spirit to clean. Right, clean up using methylated spirit. And if it does not clean properly, of course you can use Windex and whatever, which is really recommended by other people. And then you can actually use a fine sandpaper. This one is roughly around, I don't know, 380, 340 grit or something. I'll just quickly rub it, right? Aha, look at that. Ugly. But yeah, the mark is still there. I actually rubbed too much. And with the magic of photography and ta-da! Okay, how's that, mark? Yeah. Okay, right. This is a mark done on aluminium, right? Okay, now we'll put this aside. Right. Next, I have here a piece of carbide cutter I use for my lathe, right? And again, this has been just pulled out from my lathe, so it might be a bit oily. What I'll do is, again, we use some methylated spirit to wipe it off a bit, right? And put it on top of my base plate. And this time I'm going to use a stencil from Simon Townsend, knife maker from Burpengary in Queensland. Burpengary. Okay, what I'll do is I'll put this here, right? Again, I'm going to put sticky tape to hold it right in there. Now, based on past experiment, for this type of material, I want to do DC to be around about 20 seconds and the AC around about 15 seconds. So this is let's change that setting to 15, and yeah. So DC is 20 seconds, AC is 15 seconds, and make sure my felt is nice and wet with the electrolyte. Okay. Okay, now we are nice and wet. I'll put it in there and I'm going to run it. It's good to actually rock it a bit, you know, so that it's ensure that all the electrolyte going in, and I'll give it a firm pressure, right, so that you have a nice contact between the felt, the electrolyte, and base metal to be dark. So anyway, right now, if you look at it, it's nice and dark everywhere, right? Everything nice and dark. Now we'll peel it off, and the sign is actually nice in there, right? It's actually quite dark. Now I'll rub off the excess electrolyte that goes on it, right? And you see the sign is actually nice and straight in there, right? With a fine sandpaper, let's say 1000 grit. Excuse me, let me get one. Okay, at 1000 grit sandpaper, right? This is 1000 grit sandpaper. The sign would look a lot better again. Here it goes. That's how nice it is. Right. So that's that. It's quite deep etching, quite a deep etching, and come on, pretty good. Okay, that's it. Thank you.